Will the grass seed get stuck in the grass clippings? How long do I need to wait to put down kickstart? And what's going on with my rose plants? Folks, I've got answers to these questions and more coming up on Garden Sense. Hey everybody, I'm Tim Ward and welcome back to Garden Sense. Well, I hope everybody is having a great week so far, and I know you guys have been really busy working outside because my inbox has been inundated with the emails that you send us. But that's okay. We ask you to continue to send us the questions that you have to make your lawns and make your gardens looking great, so keep them coming. Out of all those emails, we've selected 4 that we're going to deal with on this video podcast. So buckle up, everybody. Let's jump right in. The first question is from Craig. Tim, if I use the grass clippings after scalping the lawn, then put down the grass seed, how does the seed get below the clippings? Won't some of the seed rest on top of the clippings? So this is a really good question. And believe it or not, this was my biggest concern when this process was first introduced to me a couple of years ago. In fact, that was the first question that I asked. What about the grass seed that's sitting up on top of the clippings? What I learned, and this again was told to me and it was verified through the own process that I went through when I did this to my lawn, was when you water it in, you are actually going to force those grass seeds down below the grass clippings. So it's a legitimate question. Usually you put the grass seed down first right on the soil surface and then cover it. But in this method, you're scalping the lawn, all those grass clippings are sitting on top of the soil, and then you're sprinkling the seed on. It works. You have to trust me on this. I was a skeptic of this step until I tried it and I realized just how well it does in fact work. Now, when you water it in, you got to make sure that you really saturate it well. Yes, there are going to be a couple of seeds that are still going to sit up on top of the grass clippings that you have there. However, the vast majority are going to work down to the soil. Folks, I did this on my own lawn and it worked amazingly well. It's a huge time saver. It's also a money saver because think of all the money that you're saving on purchasing easy straw, things like that. So head over to Rosen's online. Make sure you pick up the products that you need from there. But this is a great question. I had a concern, but trust me, if you do this process right, your lawn is going to turn out better than ever. The next question is from Monique. Tim, I sprayed some Weed Beater Ultra on my lawn. How long should I wait to spray an application of Kickstart? So this is really easy. You need to wait as long as it takes, in this case, for the Weed Beater Ultra to dry. Once the Weed Beater Ultra dries, and I'll be honest with you, this applies to any herbicide that you put down. Once it dries, you can go ahead and then put down Kickstart. So again, look at the label of whatever weed killer that you're using. And some of it says, hey, it takes, 6 to 8 hours to dry. Some will say, wait 24 hours before you water your lawn. It might be worded as, make sure that you put it down while there's not, rain in the forecast for at least 24 hours. My rule is this: I like to wait at least 24 hours before I do any type of watering, putting down of Kickstart, etc. in terms of when I put down a weed killer. We use Image all-in-one weed killer. I think it's the best weed killer out there. Weed Beater Ultra is another really, really popular product. But again, once you apply it, wait 24 hours, wait till it dries, then you can go ahead and put down Kickstart. The third question is from S. Yee. Tim, I live in Clarksburg, Maryland. I'm hoping you can tell me what is wrong with my rose plant. So this is a disease known as rose rosette. It's also called witch's broom. And believe it or not, it's actually spread through infected mites. Now, I'll be honest with you, you have 2 options. The first option is to really prune back the rose bush to get rid of any of the limbs, any of the flowers, the petals, anything that's infected. So you're going to have to really prune back that rose bush to make sure that you're getting rid of all that. Then hopefully in the springtime, it will come back and it will be healthy. I'll be honest with you, in a lot of cases, especially if it's really far gone, it's not going to come back in a healthy manner, in which case you really just want to, remove that rose bush. Now, the good news is this isn't something that is impacting the soil. So if you want to purchase a replacement rose bush, you can put it in that exact spot. what you need to do though is try to keep the insects off of it. So I would actually recommend something like a mite and insect control. This is a very, very popular product. We sell a lot of it over at rosensonline.com, and that's going to help, keep those disease carrying mites off of your roses. I'll be honest with you, I don't know the extent of the damage, but I know from experience that some people, when they get this, it's infected so bad that they just have to completely disregard, the plant. At this point in time, prune back as much as you can, and hopefully it will come back really, really strong in the spring. If it doesn't, you're going to need to replace it because, again, if those mites come back, any of your other rose bushes could potentially be at risk. The final question for today is from Rick. Hi, Tim. My neighbor and his wife have all kinds of flowers, but do not take care of their lawn. I load my property lineup with Gallery and Dimension every year per your lawn calendar to keep the neighbor's junk out of my lawn, and it has worked well. Unfortunately, their Creeping Charlie has invaded my lawn. What do you recommend to eliminate it, and what is the best time of year to do it? So putting Dimension down and Gallery down is a great first step. And obviously it sounds like you've loaded up a little bit more on your property line, and it sounds like that it's actually working. I'll be honest with you though, Creeping Charlie is a really tough weed. It's very tough. It can endure a lot. And frankly, a lot of weed killers don't always affect it the way they can, simply because oftentimes that Creeping Charlie is so close to the ground that some of the weed killers that we spray actually don't get down to it on the first pass. So in terms of products that will kill it, there's a bunch. I mean, we would recommend Image All-in-One. Weed Free Zone is another one. Obviously, if you've got any old Ultra or Weed Beater Ultra, laying around, you can use that as well. All these will kill Creeping Charlie, but as I just mentioned, you're gonna probably want to mow your lawn before you do. And the reason for that is the Creeping Charlie is so close to the ground. When you put down an application of weed killer, it will stick to the grass, it will stick to some of the other broadleaf weeds. And even though it's designed to kill Creeping Charlie, it won't always get down to that Creeping Charlie simply because the canopy of the grass, the canopy of the other broadleaf weeds blocks it. So I would actually put down, back-to-back applications of, Image All-in-One Weed Killer. I would do that as soon as you start to see it growing. I'll be honest with you, any weed that's growing, that's a good time to kill it. So if you start to see it in the late spring, early summer, which is usually when it really starts to take off, I would put it down then. I would then put down at least a second application, maybe even a third one a little bit later in the summer and then into the fall. That in combination with the Dimension and Gallery that you're already using, I actually think you're going to be able to clear this up within a season or two. All right, folks, just a couple final thoughts before we wrap up this week's video podcast. Back by popular demand is our fall feeding frenzy. Folks, if you are not familiar with this, we'll call it an annual sale that we run in the fall. It is a great time to purchase Turf Trust fertilizers because the Fall Feeding Frenzy contains 3 bags of either the 5M or the 10M sized fertilizer, and you can use it with the starter or the maintenance fertilizer. So head over to rosensonline.com and pick up the Fall Feeding Frenzy. It qualifies for free shipping. There is a price break on the product as well, so it's just a great way to save money and to get your lawn the feeding that it needs right now, but then also look again to that 4th and final feeding that you need towards the end of the fall, headed into the very, very early winter stages of the upcoming season. So head over to rosensonline.com and take advantage of it now. Folks, I also want to remind you of just the abundance of products that we offer on Rosens Online. If you are overseeding, we have everything you need. If you're just trying to kill weeds, we have what you need. There's an issue with your lawn or with your gardens in terms of a disease, we have what you need. Obviously, we get a lot of questions. We share those on this video podcast. But at the end of the day, you can head over to rosensonline.com and see all of the products. The fact of the matter is, if it's on our website, it's a product that we stand behind. And if you have questions about which product to use in terms of your application, make sure that you reach out directly to me. Which brings us to how to contact me. As always, folks, you can send an email directly to me, Tim rosensonline.com. I will answer 100% of the emails that I receive. Give me a couple of days before you send me a follow-up email. We always do respond, but this time of year, especially with the overseeding, the fall feeding frenzy, I usually get an inordinate number of emails, and that certainly seems to be the case so far. Folks, as always, we really appreciate the time that you spend with us each and every day. We couldn't have this video podcast without all of the viewers and all of the questions, so thank you very much for the time that you give us. I hope that you have an amazing rest of the week. God bless.